All right, let's get a sense of what's going on in the markets more broadly at the moment, particularly with a lot of action from the central banks. To do that, Pete McGuire joining us from XM. Pete, a very good Monday morning to you. So we do have a few meetings to consider this week. Of course, our very own RBA tomorrow, plus in the Eurozone and Canada.
Absolutely. Good morning, Andrew. It's showtime. It's going to be a good week. Plenty of volatility, I think, and we're interesting to see what happens as far as Lagarde and the Eurozone. Canada, of course, probably 75 basis points, and how aggressive our RBA will be. So they're all battling, I think, the same enemy, which is inflation, and hopefully we don't turn into Turkey, because it's just posted 80% inflation, Andrew.
Yeah, goodness gracious, don't bring that up as a comparison. Pete, when you're looking at what's going on in the Eurozone at the moment, of course, energy prices, the real focus. I mean, those gas prices are astronomical at the moment. There has been a little relief there. Nonetheless, it suggests perhaps a very difficult winter ahead.
Absolutely right. Yes, if you're looking at electricity costs and what, as far as, heating a home or powering a home, we went from €40 to 1,065. So it's a 26 times multiple as far as electricity costs in France. And that's wrapping across Germany now and all of the other Eurozone countries. So it's going to be very, very tough. You've got record high gas prices. We understand the situation with Gazprom and what's happening, exporting gas into Europe via those pipelines. There's no other way to get it. It's very hard to ship it in. So, yeah, it's going to be a very long, hard winter. We're conscious also, you've got to understand, Andrew, that you've got an absolutely cratered euro now sitting at 99.2. So that really creates so much extra angst because it costs more money, and that in turn spikes even further inflation.
Do you see any relief there for the euro, particularly with the ECB considering where it's going?
I think it'll bounce. I wouldn't be surprised how aggressive Lagarde's got to be, but remembering that may already be baked in. But let's see that you might see a 101, 102 handle. It's got to bounce over 103.50 from a technical standpoint to go back up. And you've got King Dollar now just under 110. It's at 109.90. It's really ratcheted up in the last, 14, 15 hours. I was talking to the Middle East last night, and everyone expected the US dollar to continue its upward lift, but it's been very aggressive in early morning Asia trade today.
And Pete, of course, the other focus in the energy market at the moment is very much oil. It has come off recently. Nonetheless, the big focus will be on that meeting later today with OPEC Plus, expecting to announce some cuts there. That's perhaps a reflection what's seen in the global demand, and in particular China. How are you seeing that play out at the moment?
Well, the Chinese situation is quite unique, Andrew. They're being hit by every corner, and they've also had a cratered yuan, now nearly through that 7 number. So it's going to be very, very tricky for the Chinese, and they're just deflating their currency. The other side is that you've got very critical issues from a weather standpoint with extremely hot weather conditions, and that impact there as far as dry riverbeds and what's going to happen later in the year with their winter and powering through dams and electricity, well, not only consumption, but you're looking at how you're going to generate it. And then the other side, of course, is what's happening from their property sector. 32% of their economy is the property market, and that's absolutely cratering. So, yeah, it's a very interesting global situation, and China's right in the middle of it.
Yeah, which of course is very much a focus for Australia, given our reliance in terms of what we're selling to them at the moment and where their economy is going. Pete, just before we get to what's going on locally, particularly as far as the RBA is concerned, the UK also, a political focus there because we're finally going to get a new Prime Minister, and the favourite being Liz Truss, said she's actually going to provide some relief for those rising energy prices. It'll be interesting to see how she does that.
Yeah, well, exactly, Andrew. Yes, she looks like she'll get the green light, so that we'll know very, very shortly. The other side is, she's got her hands full, how she battles energy prices and, of course, inflation domestically in the UK. You've got a pound that's absolutely just falling through the floor at now at 1 at 14.78. So, it's really come under some extreme pressure to the downside over the last week and a half to 2 weeks. Everyone's now saying is 112 to 110 the handle that they're going to see, a baseline. Some are even calling for parity against the US dollar. So, yeah, there's a lot of hurt out there in UK land.
Pete, let's bring it back home. What direction are you seeing the Aussie dollar going at the moment, bearing in mind we are getting the RBA and its decision tomorrow, the expectation it will lift rates by another 50 basis points?
Well, there's about 60% chance that that'll happen, Andrew. 60, 65, that's what the analysts are telling us. Yeah, you got 30, 35% are saying it's going to be 25 basis points, but I'm erring on that 50 basis point side. Where the Aussie dollar, 67.96, it's come under, again, pressure from last night, was 68.12. So it's falling, and maybe you're going to see possibly a 67.60 handle before Tuesday. I wouldn't be even surprised to take a little bit lower, and let's see what it bounces if they do deliver that 50. But the 50 already could be baked in. So it's going to be a great time to be trading that volatile Aussie dollar.